Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by endless fields of golden grass, there lived a humble farmer named Ravi. Ravi wasn't wealthy, and he didn't dream of riches. His only treasure was his little daughter, Meera, and a tiny plot of land that he worked tirelessly every day. Their days were simple, digging the soil, planting seeds, and watching the sky for signs of rain. And though their lives were hard, they were content, because Ravi believed in two things above all: faith and hard work. Every evening after the sun dipped below the horizon, Ravi would sit with Meera under the old banyan tree. He'd point to the stars glimmering above and say, "Meera, don't show off. True strength comes quietly from your faith, your actions, not your words." Meera would nod, her curious eyes sparkling. She was young, and though Ravi's advice was simple, it stayed with her. One year, disaster struck the village. The rains didn't come, and the fields turned dry and cracked. The wells stopped flowing, and the crops withered into dust. The villagers began to panic. They held meetings, shouted at each other, boasted about plans to move to the city and find riches elsewhere. "I'll sell my land and buy a factory," declared one man. "I'll start a business in the city and live like a king," said another. But Ravi stayed silent. He never bragged about his plans, nor did he join the panic. Instead, he got up every morning and knelt by his field, whispering quiet prayers. Meera, watching her neighbors shout and make grand promises, tugged at her father's sleeve one day. "Papa," she asked, "why don't we tell everyone what we'll do? Why don't we say we'll succeed too?" Ravi smiled, brushing dust from his hands. "Meera," he said gently, "words are cheap, but actions, they speak loudly if we let them. Let's focus on our work." Ravi had an idea. He picked up his worn-out shovel and began digging. His plan sounded foolish to the villagers. "You think you'll strike water with that tiny shovel?" they mocked. "You'll fail." Ravi didn't argue. He simply nodded and kept digging, pouring his quiet determination into the earth. Meera, inspired by her father's persistence, joined him. She carried water from a distant stream to soften the dirt, cupping it in her little hands. "Papa," she said cheerfully one evening as they worked, "let's imagine water flowing through our field. It feels so real when we imagine it." Ravi chuckled, warmth blooming in his heart. "That's right, Meera. Hope makes us stronger." Day after day, they worked tirelessly under the brutal sun. While the villagers complained and argued, Ravi and Meera focused on their prayers and their labor. One evening, as the sky turned golden, Ravi's shovel hit something hard. He paused, his breath catching. Together, he and Meera cleared away clumps of earth until finally cool, clear water bubbled to the surface. They had found a spring. The villagers rushed to their field in astonishment. "How did you do it?" asked one, their boasting forgotten. Ravi shrugged, his voice calm and quiet. "Faith and hard work," he replied simply. "I didn't need to show off, just to believe." With the spring in hand, Ravi's dry field turned into a lush green miracle. The crops grew bountifully, and he even managed to share his water and vegetables with the villagers. Meera brought smiles to their faces by teaching simple English phrases she had learned from her father, words like "thank you" and "I can try." The village thrived, but their story didn't end there. A wealthy merchant soon arrived, intrigued by Ravi's success. He offered a fortune for the land, but Ravi refused. "This land is our hope," he explained. "It's not for sale." Irritated, the merchant sneered. "Don't show off your pride, farmer. You're just lucky, nothing more." But Ravi remained humble, his faith unshaken. That night, driven by greed, the merchant sabotaged the spring, blocking it with rocks. When the villagers learned of it, despair filled their eyes. But not Ravi. Kneeling beside the dried spring, he turned to Meera and said, "Do not cry, my child. Hope hasn't left us. Let's work again." Together, Ravi and Meera cleared the rocks, their belief stronger than ever. The spring flowed once more, crystal and sweet, rewarding their patience and humility. The merchant left the village in shame, while Ravi's story, his quiet strength and faith, spread far and wide. Years later, Meera grew into a teacher, carrying her father's lessons to others. Her classroom buzzed with cheerful children repeating words of hope. "I am strong. I will succeed." While Ravi's once tiny field became a symbol of quiet perseverance and belief. The moral of their story is simple. Don't show off. Believe in yourself, work diligently, and let your actions speak louder than any boastful words. Faith and determination, just like Ravi and Meera showed, can light up even the darkest days. proving that miracles shine where humility thrives. Repeat after me. I believe in myself. Say it every day, and let that belief carry you toward your dreams.